Welcome back to the Financial Alchemist channel. Today I'm focusing on the USDT dominance. As I already said in the previous video, this corresponds to peaks in the Bitcoin price, and the opposite, this corresponds to the bottom in the Bitcoin USD price. So this trend line is still holding. This has held for years, and here it looks like the trend line has broken, but I said the trend line breaking does not mean the trend has ended. The trend is still valid because once we break trend line, we need to break structure for the trend to be over. So similar scenario is here. Somebody might say, let's go down to the weekly. Somebody might say this trend line was broken, but because this is a structure, this support line at 3.8% wasn't broken, still held, the trend is still valid. So you can break trend line, but the trend is still valid. So this is a typical example of the trend, a break in trend line, but still having a valid trend. Similar case here. This can be on the weekly, a clear break in trend line. Maybe someone might see this as a break, and this is a consolidation, then continuation downwards. Anyhow you might see it. Some might see it as a break, support, and going up. Everybody and their analysis. But I'm just saying the fact that the trend has been broken. The fact that the trend line has been broken, that does not necessarily mean the trend has been broken. For this trend to break, we need to break, and we need to close below 3.80% in the USDT dominance, and which hasn't yet occurred. So I realized this on the 3-month chart. On the monthly, it looks like a break, and it wants to test 3.8%. But once you go on the 3-month chart, you see how valid this trend is. Over here looked like a break, and it came to test going up. But on the 3-month chart, this trend line is still holding, as from here, from the beginning all throughout here. So I also realized about 98% of the time, if not 100, there are wicks at the bottom and the top of the candle. So let's say 95% to give room for error. But majority of the time, we get wicks, both up and down. So you can check all this. There are wicks almost every time, if not every time. And from my previous video, you will know that I'm favoring USDT dominance to go higher a couple of months time from here. Then we're going higher to wherever it wants to store to. But if it breaks and we close above this resistance zone, likely we are going to 6.40, and if that can also continue up, we can go here, but that's for another day. But what I'm saying is we can get our wicks up and down. As of now, this is a 3-month chart. When this October candle 2024 opened, we came all the way down here, created our wick. No, we opened over here, sorry. We came here, opened, and we closed here. This just became our wick. We opened here, came down for some couple of weeks or months, came up to close again. So this is a 3-month candle. Many things can happen between this candle, but most of the times, or if not all the time, we have a wick. And as of now, the opening of this October candle happened as at 4.55%, and we've not yet gotten our wick. So putting that in mind, you should expect a wick at least. This might not play out, but we can expect a wick. Even if I'm wrong on this blowing out, we can get a wick and blow down if I'm wrong. So we retracing within these 3 months is still probable, even if I'm wrong on the top being in October. So for me to be wrong, and already we have created a wick now, so I can bring this up and it becomes a blue candle, a bullish candle. Then we create our wick at the top, then I'll be wrong and it counts down all-time high BTC $200,000, which I don't believe will happen. So even if I'm wrong, I'm still expecting a retracement at least, but I'm favoring a whole peak, a crash, not a retracement from October 2025. So the 3 months chart kind of solidifies my theory that this is going higher, and this is a long-term bullish trend. You can see from the lows to the highs, to the lows to the highs, to the lows. This is a touch on the trend line. Also, this resistance, 10 support. Similar thing to what happened at the peak. Let's go back to the monthly. Similar thing to what happened at the peak in 2021, November. From 69K back down to approximately 15,500. So we were going higher, low, then we went higher, we came low, went higher. This, it was like the fourth touch, technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 touch, and also we had confluence from this line. This was a support. Here at some point it became a resistance on the lower time frame and came back, test support. So this is a highly concentrated area with multiple confluences. So for the peak for 2021, similar thing is happening now on a bigger time frame. So how many touches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This should not continue forever. It might break one day, but not now, per my analysis. So this is a touch, in my opinion. When we close, we'll see it's a touch. Once we touch, this will be a wick because it's a touch in the trend line and also serve as support. If I'm wrong, this will serve as resistance for it to go lower. But as at now, the monthly candle, it looks like it's serving as resistance as at now. But this is an indecision candle, September candle over here. And as I always said about the candle having wicks about 98% of the time, both up and down on this USDT chart, on the monthly, there is no wick on the October candle. So if about 99% of the time we have wicks on the top and the down, 99% of the time, are you going to say this time is different and say this will not be a wick and we are going to all-time highs forever till next year? You have to go with the one with the highest probability, which is having a wick. I might be wrong, but I'm going with the one with the highest probability. There are no guarantees, only probabilities. So at least we are going to get a wick above here, because ideally we always have wicks. See this example, there is no wick here, so it's not always we should have a wick. This April candle, there's no wick here, but we have a wick over here, so that might be the case for this as well. So we just have to watch and see. But if 22nd, 22 days more for this candle to close and we are having this wick already, there's still momentum. So it means I'm still favoring this fast move is a wick, will be a wick eventually, which will make us close higher. So since we are still in October, we might still close lower, but the November, December candles will be above this. So we'll just wait and see. And concerning these peaks in the Bitcoin price, as I said yesterday, these peaks on the monthly and weekly, they seem accurate, but you won't get them as accurate as this. So that was the main purpose of today, trying to align them well as it is, not as I want it to be. So starting from December 2017, June 2019. So we now go to the Bitcoin. June 2019, December. So you go to the daily. Because this short I'm doing is really risky, as I did over here. We must consider, overanalyze everything. So 2017 December, the peak was on the 17th. The peak was on the 17th, and 2019 June. This is the peak. 26 June 2019. So 26 June and 17th. So this is the 17th. Then 26 June. So we see what happened. Is it accurate? Is it the same? 26 June. This was the actual peak. Yes. Then March and November of 2021. We go to BTC and confirm. March, November 2021. As you can see, this is the March top. Yes, there's a difference over here. So here was April. 14th April 2021 and 10th November. 14th April, 10th November. So you hear my thought process. 14th April, 10th November. April, 10th November. 10th November. Then March and December 2024. March. So the March peak. This was it. March 14th March. No. 14th March. Here are double. We have December, we have January. Let me see what the BTC is saying. So we'll pick the highest as well. So it's the January one. So January 20th. I'll pick the January one. January 20th. Then this is where we are. I'm saying October 20th will be the next one. So we can now start from the monthly. These are the exact day. So we now start from the top. You do a top-down analysis downwards. So far everything corresponds nicely. So monthly, we are kind of using probabilities. We'll get the month correctly, because the month in which it peaked, that was the month it bottomed on USDT dominance. So the month we picked on USDT, so the month is kind of solid. So if I'm right, the month, I can get this. The month was the lowest at every point. This wasn't the lowest here, this was the lowest. So there are some, you don't necessarily have to get to the lowest point because of this, as I'm now seeing. So this as well wasn't necessarily the lowest point, because this was the lowest point, December. But on the Bitcoin USD, the highest point was in January, not in December. So that can be the case here. This might be the lowest point, and we'll continue up from here. So we don't necessarily have to have our month to be the lowest point, as we have already seen. Some months might be the lowest. So the typical example is this. The lowest was 2 months prior. Then we had our peak. This was 1 month. So this might be, it's possible 2 months prior, just like that. So this is it. Then this. So we're just watching everything, considering everything. This is the weekly now. Start all over again. Everything is looking nice. The beginning stages look nice. So at least once we are hitting the trend line or getting to a support zone, you must just be wary of a retracement, because you can't get it exactly at the hit point every time. Example is this 2021. Here we got it exactly. Here we didn't. And that was a different cycle. This cycle began from the bottom 2022. So regarding this cycle alone, except the bottom, the rest wasn't exactly. So this bottom was the exact, wasn't even exactly. This one happened, the bottom was 22nd or 21st of November. This was the actual bottom. So in this cycle, I just realized this. So in this cycle, we are seeing we are not going to get exactly, because this week wasn't the exact bottom, 7th November. For those of you who don't understand, let me go back. So 7th November is this FTS crash. So it's quite close, but we need our stops and everything to be as close as possible. So if you entered here, you are still fine, wherever you enter here. But imagine you entered here 19,000 and you put your stops at 15 or 16, you have been wiped out. So this was the peak from the USDT dominance, but the actual peak happened the 21st of November. So this cycle is not exactly going to happen the same way. So just have to put that in mind. So 7th, yes, so this is the actual. So after BTC, after a bottom on the USDT dominance, that is when we had a bottom. So exactly 2 weeks later was when we had the actual bottom on BTC USDT or BTC USD. You can see that. So 2 weeks prior. This is June 12. So we are now not June 12, September 11th. What month, what year was that? 2023. Okay, June 12th, October 11th, June 12 was exactly September 11th. September 11th was exactly. So as you can see, some correspond, some don't. So we just have that at the back of our heads. So now these are the bottoms. I don't focus on the bottoms since I'm dealing with the peaks at this moment. So let's take the March 2024, June 2025, March and January. March 2024. The actual peak 11th March. The actual peak happened on 11th March, which happened exactly. This peak 11th March 2024. Then this one, the actual peak happened January 20th, but it didn't correspond with this actual peak. So we just have to have that in mind. It's not exactly the same, but the lower you go, the more it becomes complicated. So that's why at least I'm confident in the October one, because the month kind of is 100%. The month he picked in BTC was a bottom on the USDT dominance, or a wick, not necessarily the actual lowest point, but was quite spot on. So that's why I'm confident in the October. The weekly to explain how I got my 20th December in my previous video, so I don't want to go back there. But since the higher time frame, the highest time frame, let's even try the 6 month and see. I've not looked at the 6 month. It's even giving us more confirmation. Let's try the 12 month just in case. This is looking different now. So this is looking scary on the yearly chart because of this huge wick we've had here. But anything can happen within a month. And right now we have 3 months to go. So this is kind of looking scary as of now. But we watch that and see. So from the 6 month, it's still looking valid. At this point, we're either going strong down, strong high, but I'm favoring it's better to follow the trend than to go against it. So 3 months. So I'll follow the bullish trend in the USDT dominance until it breaks 3.80%. If it doesn't break that, I'll still have my conviction. Maybe my timing was wrong or whatever, because this trend line is also looking strong. This is very strong. So yes, so this is my thought process as at 9th October 2025 concerning Bitcoin and the USDT dominance for the peak my shorts I'm about to undergo if everything plays out. Let me see if I can see more. Bottom. Let me have the weekly. You just say wait and see approach. Wait and see. I believe this will hold. I believe there is no reason why this shouldn't hold. This should hold whenever it wants to, and we break higher. Because this can also be a first, second, a third touch some way. As I said, I don't want to predict the candles, just wait and see. But October 20th is the day for me. As at now, this two here. Okay. Monthly. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this is my thought process behind the USDT dominance. Once I see the bottom forming on the USDT dominance in peak, having a peak price on the 20th, then I enter my short to ride down. But as at now, this is my thought process. Okay. The lower you go, the more messed up the chart becomes. So let's wait and see. If this is the lowest point for this, it's actually good in my favor. Just like this side and this side, because we already know we don't necessarily have to be the lowest. So if we've had a peak somewhere and it's forming a base going into, yes, so that's good. So I'm still confident, aside my issue concerning the yearly chart, but a lot can happen. We can go higher. So this is a typical example for the peak of 2021. So it's kind of similar to 2021. So we had a peak in BTC USD somewhere. So let's not confuse ourselves. Let's talk about USDT dominance. So we have a bottom in this USDT dominance here, 19 February 2021. Then went sideways to form a base. Then we actually peaked in Bitcoin's price April 2021. Then we went down in BTC USD. So it's looking like this is what is about to play. This is what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like as of now. So if you go to where we are now, it's kind of looking like that. So yes, so this peak or this bottom in a USDT price, they're moving sideways, creating a base. So all this on the higher time frames will be a wick to the higher time frame, and this is already a strong zone. Though we are below a resistance zone, we don't buy into a resistance zone, but this is kind of complex. So as of now, I can still do that. Ideally, beginners, you wait for a confirmation and break over here, but crypto moves very quick. You have to move before they move, if you can get what I'm saying. So I'm still confident. The only issue is my 12-month chart. The yearly chart is looking, but that's 3 months away. This week is looking bad, but as you see, there was a week here like this, and we still went higher. So that's not an issue. The 6 months too is so. So yes, as at now, I don't think I have any issue. As at now, the 3 month chart is the best. 3 month chart is giving everything. So as at now, no issue. So I'm not necessarily expecting it to come here on the day. If it doesn't come on the day and we are looking, we get some wicks on that day, I'll update you guys. But once we are at all-time highs within my range from 20th to 27th, especially the 20th Monday, once I'm at all-time highs and I see how the candles are looking like, this USDT dominance, aside my other confluences, my technical analysis, using BTC dominance as well, and other stuff, I think I'm still heading for this Bitcoin shorts. Yes, so wait and see. Today is the 9th, so 11 days to go. Then we'll see. Ideally, we have a nice stretch down to get our all-time high somewhere, or just sideways all-time high on Bitcoin USD. Then we are good to go. We are not shy from the all-time high. All-time high as at now 126,200. So this move is insignificant, just something small. Hopefully we get above 130 and enter the 140s. Then we can enter our shorts. So yes, that is it for today concerning my USDT dominance analysis, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.